Yeah, and I really think, and like looking back, I really think my dad struggled with mental health. He was a alcoholic. He was an abusive alcoholic, and now knowing some things that I know, some things that I've been through, I see some of his struggles. I see like, oh, I wish I always say, I wish that I knew then what I know now. I feel like I might have been able to help him, or at least have a better compassion or understanding about what he's going through.
Hmm.
But he was one of those men, that born in the 30s, that men don't cry, men don't,
Yeah, they
men don't
stand in the rain and
yeah.
yeah.
So he struggled, he struggled in it, I think it's the same thing with my brother and his addiction. Like, I think that's what he self-medicated. So, for me, it does take an effort to express things sometimes,
Hmm.
when you're struggling. But I know I can go to like anybody in my little network and be like, this is happening, and talk to me, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I'm so grateful that I have people, and that people love me, and that they want me to be better, and be, and to be well, and be safe, and I'm so thankful for that. And I wish everyone had that network.
Freddie seems like a saint. Freddie seems very
Yeah.
supportive.
Yes, he is. He's wonderful. Like, it doesn't matter. He'll drive, like, and he likes to stay busy. He likes to play in the garage and do his thing. But like, if I call him and say, "Can you come home?" Like, he's here in like 5 seconds. Like,
That's awesome.
everybody. So yes,
You mentioned your brother David.
mhm,
He passed
yes,
for overdose, and there was that's kind of that self medication, which again, a lot of times, with addiction, there is that whole mental health component, and how I mean, everybody's struggle is their own. I mean, it can't. It's futile to compare one person's struggle with another, but
no.
going through that has got to how was dealing with that and having the support network, but still it was such a tragedy. And on top of that, with everything that all the administrative stuff you have to deal with too, with the passing sibling, how did that go for you?
Well, his addiction got worse after my dad had passed. He always lived with my dad. So I feel like, once my dad died, he felt like, oh, I don't have a babysitter anymore, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And so it did get worse. We both had access to more money, more finances.
Hmm.
So I kind of, for me, I kind of lived in denial. I didn't live in denial. I was just ignorant to addiction, and like,
Hmm.
what how desperate people can be to get what they need, and what they'll do and what they'll say, and like, you know I would believe everything you tell me, right? So, but then I guess after, I would say, the last 2 years, I guess, of his life, I was like, well, I know, unfortunately, I know what it actually is and how bad it is.
Hmm.
And I would try to talk to him and try to say, your life could be so much better. Like, you could have, it could be this, that, I would, all of it. I would,
Yeah.
be Miss Positivity. And it wasn't, wasn't registering in his, he just wasn't. So I would, for my own self, I had to distance myself from him and his lifestyle, because it was just, it'd break my heart.
Yeah.
I can't do that to myself, and I can't do that to the people who care about me. So, I was still a sister. I would still, if he would call me and say, I need this, I'd drop everything, I'd go do whatever. But as far as like socially, or like having a friendship, or having, you know, thinking he's somebody I can depend on, like, no,
Hmm.
I had none of that. And that part was hard. That was a mourning in itself. That was a
Yeah.
whole process. Um, so when he passed, you go through all these things, like, well, maybe I should have tried harder, because like mentally, I was in a better place than he was, or maybe I should
Hmm.
have done something, or like, whatever. Like we go through all this. So it's, I still have days where I'm like, I just miss him so much. And then like you get like sad or you get angry, you get whatever. But I just keep going back to it, but I have such a support system. I have, my family, I have friends, I have people from church that are they're just rock stars in my life, and without those people, I don't know. I don't know if I would have been able to put one foot in front of the other after he died. Because, what's interesting is I'm the youngest of 5. And all of my siblings have passed. He was the last one. And they've all passed with some kind of like very tragic death. So, so it's interesting. People say, I don't do it. I don't know how you do it. I'm like, well, part of me says I don't have a choice. I have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another part of me is like, maybe I don't want to do it, but I have people who love me and that want me here and don't want me to hurt myself or in my life or, whatever. So I choose to think of the good stuff. I choose to think of, I'm gonna wake up today and Freddie and I are gonna go, I don't know, play miniature golf or whatever. Whatever. Yeah. But it's just, I still, I miss him. I do. It's just, I felt so lost and I felt like everybody left me. That's why I had that feeling for a while. But I've been in therapy for a year. So for some other things, like I had panic attacks and other weird stuff, but I'm so grateful that was already in place before he died, because I had some tools already established.
Yeah.
So
catch new episodes of Mental Health Mondays every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Start your week off with a smile and some inspiration.